Today we're going to be doing a video on how to hang your Aerie sleeping bag and underquilt as a pod with a hammock. With your Aerie underquilt and sleeping bag, there will come a suspension kit for hanging it, as well as some instructions on how to hang it as an underquilt. But today we're going to be talking about how to make it a pod. Obviously, the first thing you're going to want to do is hang up your hammock. When sleeping in a pod form, you're going to have to sleep in line like this, which means that you cannot lay on an angle. So to keep your back a little bit flatter, I do recommend that you string your hammock up a little bit tighter. Next thing you're going to want to do is pull out your underquilt and lay it right in your hammock, just like this. On the bottom end, go ahead and take the zipper from the far corner and zip it up to the other corner so that the only side that is zipped up completely is the long side or the top side in this. The next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and thread your hand up through the bag so that it can stick out of the bottom like that. You're going to bring it up here and you're going to unclip your hammock for a second. You're going to bring this hammock straight through the sleeping bag and then reattach your hammock to the tree. Now notice at this point, we've got the drawstrings open, the zipper is at each corner here, and it's hanging just off the dirt. This is just how we want it while we go ahead and get it positioned where we want it with our suspension kit. The next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and get out your suspension kit and start threading that through. If you need really detailed instructions on how it threads through, go ahead and look at the card that came with your Aerie. So just a quick overview of how this works. You go ahead and thread this through a carabiner or some point on your suspension kit or on your tree strap. Then you go ahead and take the cord lock, you thread it through once, you bring it through the attachment point on the Aerie, and you come back through that same cord lock so that the cord runs through it twice. At this point, I'm not going to tighten it. I'm going to go ahead and move to this other side. Okay, you can see that I've got the suspension kit attached on both sides. I'm just gonna go ahead and snug it up just a little bit so that it's fairly tight. This will lock in its position on the hammock and keep it centered. The next step is we're gonna go ahead and pull tight the drawstrings on both ends of the Aerie. This is the head end, so I'll go ahead and tighten that, and then I'm gonna come to the foot end. When you are pulling this tight, keep in mind the zipper's still at the corner. When you're pulling this side tight, it does have a zipper along this edge, so you are gonna have to kind of pull that zipper up towards the corner at the same time that you're pulling this drawstring. However, you can get it very tight on this end as well. So we've got that nice and tight on both ends. You can see this is basically what the pod should be like. Now all you do is go ahead and come back here to the zipper. We've successfully hung it without hitting it in the dirt and getting it any dirtier or anything. We go ahead, unzip this now, and you can climb right in. Make sure you land in the hammock though when you're climbing in. We don't have to worry about sag or anything like that because when you do zip this up around you, it'll get the right amount of sag. But that is how you would hang it up as a pod. Now, before you jump off this video, I am gonna cover right now some more details on how to make the system work a little bit better in colder environments. If you're going to be taking this, down towards freezing or below 40 and some of those types of things, we are going to want to cover a little bit of how to get better seals on the ends so that air can't come through. Because when you are laying in a hammock, it creates a U-form. Well, the Aerie was going to create a circle going around that U-form, leaving a little bit of a draft in the middle. However, we can accommodate for those and help seal those off in a few different ways. My personal favorite way to hang the Aerie is to actually hedge it towards the foot end. You can see here that there's very little material on that side. There's more material hanging out of the bag on this side. What that allows this end to do is it allows this end to take a tighter seal. So you can see how tight this is. It's right next to this gathered end. It doesn't have very much room to get wider from that gathered end, meaning that this side is going to seal a little bit better. When I get in this bag too, you'll notice that this side is slightly taller than this side. When you're hedging it to one side, that helps you to keep your head higher than your feet or about the same level. However, when you do get in this side now will not have as great of a seal because you've got a lot more fabric in the hammock, and that's going to create a little bit more area for a draft to come in around your shoulders. So what I do is I simply wear a jacket, and if you can, one other thing is if you've got extra clothes, just go ahead and push them down by your feet and it will seal off any extra holes that might be down in that foot area. But by wearing a jacket up on this end as well as a beanie, I'm able to keep this side fairly sealed, keep my foot totally sealed, and that's my personal favorite way to use the Aerie. Another one of my favorite options is to put the sleeping bag right in the middle of the hammock or maybe slightly towards the head end to get a better seal around your face, and then use an excess jacket to seal off this side. Now I just zipped this jacket up right around the hammock and the sleeping bag, and I'm going to go ahead and take the hood portion and shove it down in this little gap, as well as the sleeves into there. Now what you're doing is you're providing more warmth in the footbox area, you're sealing off this end more, and then you're gonna get a little bit better seal around your face. This is preferable if you have an extra jacket or you've got a couple extra layers, because this really will provide more warmth around your foot, but you still might want to have something around your shoulders to add some extra warmth around the face end and where it's sealing. Now again, these are tips and tricks to use when you're trying to test the limits of the Aerie, and especially if you're not using a top quilt or a sleeping bag inside of the Aerie. If you're truly gonna test this bag and put it down to its lowest, it works really well to put a top quilt or a mummy bag inside of there. However, I've taken this bag down to freezing temperatures just like this, and it's worked fine for me. Thanks for watching this video on how to use the Aerie as a pod system. This has been one of our newer innovative products that we've had a lot of fun designing. And thanks to our consumer direct business model, it's made it affordable to all of you. Make sure to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and get on our mailing list to hear about all of our new and upcoming products. We appreciate all the support that has enabled us to design these types of products. If you need anything at all, make sure to reach out to us at support@outdoorvitals.com.